Guys, AHS here. Don't leave the chick until you're in the witness protection program. Especially if she threaten your life and say, if you ever leave me, I'm gonna kill you. Don't leave her until you secure a spot in the witness protection program. Today's video, article, whatever you call it, is about that. So let's watch the news clip and we'll come back and chop it up AHS style.
A teenage girl is accused of fatally stabbing her 17-year-old ex-boyfriend outside his Miami apartment last month, and she has posted bond.
17-year-old Jahara Malik was charged with manslaughter. Local 10 Samir FC joining us live from the jail in West Miami-Dade with what happened when she faced a judge. Samir, fill us in.
Sinella and JC. So despite the state's attempt to keep this teenager locked up here at TGK, the judge ultimately issuing her a $50,000 bond, saying she does not believe the teenager will be a flight risk due to her prior actions of staying on scene and calling 911.
I'm going to set a bond in the amount of $50,000.
17-year-old Jahara Malik set to be released on bond with a GPS ankle monitor as she stands accused of fatally stabbing her ex-boyfriend, 17-year-old Yakeem Lawler.
She has no priors. She surrendered herself.
On December 20th, Lawler was found with a stab wound to the chest on the third floor of a parking garage at his apartment complex in the 6100 block of Northwest 6th Court. Investigators say surveillance footage shows Malik dropping the knife near the crime scene.
She stayed at the scene. She called 911. She cooperated with the police. The question about bond, the purpose of bond, as we all know, is to assure that the person will appear in court.
Exactly.
She didn't leave the scene after she just stabbed somebody and that person died.
She told investigators she brought a knife because she used a ride share to get to Lawler's address and would normally carry pepper spray but couldn't find it.
His life was taken away for no reason at 17, and we all know he had a right future in front of him.
The teen's mom said during a vigil, Malik told investigators the pair were horseplaying prior to the stabbing.
Somebody just playing took my boy's life. Just playing, that's what they said. They was playing.
All right, and she is charged again with manslaughter with a deadly weapon. A motive has not yet been disclosed. I had a chance to speak to Lawler's mother over the phone, and she says the justice system today failed their son, and they plan to continue to fight this in his honor. Of course, this will be a developing story. Malik will be back in court in 5 days. That's the very latest from West Miami. I'm Samir FC, Local 10 News.
Guys, ain't no doubt in my mind at this point. Hoes, they stick together. Even the judges. She trying to find any excuse to give that chick bond, and she did.
I'm going to set a bond in the amount of $50,000.
17-year-old Jahara Malik set to be released on bond with a GPS ankle monitor as she stands accused of fatally stabbing her ex-boyfriend, 17-year-old Yakeem Lawler.
She has no priors. She surrendered herself.
On December 20th, Lawler was found with a stab wound to the chest on the third floor of a parking garage at his apartment complex in the 6100 block of Northwest 6th Court. Investigators say surveillance footage shows Malik dropping the knife near the crime scene.
She stayed at the scene. She called 911. She cooperated with the police. The question about bond, the purpose of bond, as we all know, is to assure that the person will appear in court.
Exactly.
She didn't leave the scene after she just stabbed somebody and that person died.
You think that judge would have did the same thing with Nicholas Cruz if he stayed on the scene and explained what happened? Hell to the no. Because everybody know anything come out Nicholas Cruz's mouth is garbage, foolishness, and you should not listen to it. But the judge say, us hoes, we gotta stick together.
Wishes to add to the record or present at this time.
I believe Mr. Cruz wanted to make a statement to the court and to his president of the courtroom.
Okay.
May I take off my mask?
Sure.
I am very sorry for what I did, and I have to live with it every day. And that if I were to get a second chance, I will do everything in my power to try to help others. And I am doing this for you, and I do not care if you do not believe me. And I love you, and I know you don't believe me, but I have to live with this every day. And it brings me nightmares, and I can't live with myself sometimes. But I try to push through because I know that's what you guys would want me to do. I hate drugs, and I believe this country would do better if everyone would stop smoking marijuana and doing all these drugs and causing racism and violence out in the streets. I'm sorry, and I can't even watch TV anymore. And I'm trying my best to maintain my composure, and I just want you to know I'm really sorry. And I hope you give me a chance to try to help others. If I believe it's your decision to decide where I go and whether I live or die. Not the jury's. I believe it's your decision. I'm sorry.
Okay, anything else?
Judge, you know why she stayed on the scene. Because everybody know her crazy ass did it. And the cameras caught her crazy ass killing homie. Let me ask you something. If Uber is so bad, you need pepper spray, and you don't have your pepper spray, you need a knife to catch an Uber, maybe you should stay your ass at home. Don't catch the Uber. If it's that dangerous, catching the Uber, stay your ass at home. And I'm not buying they were horse playing. Nah, I ain't buying it. Young homie was trying to cut it off, and she was having none of that, and she decided to go crazy female on him, and she knew if she paid her cards right, she might run into a offended judge that had her back in the court, and she probably gonna walk scot-free.
Thousands of loved ones crowd a vigil for a 17-year-old stabbed to death outside an apartment complex. His family there says his ex-girlfriend did it. CBS News Miami's Anna McAllister joins us from the Model City neighborhood where relatives say an argument led to the attack.
A fun-loving, respectful, and kind-hearted young man. That is how the family of 17-year-old Yakim Lawler describes him. They had big hopes for his future, but those dreams were cut short on Friday.
We were hoping that, to see him go to the prom and go to college. It's just a devastation.
Deputy Zeldrina Beecham serves on the Miami-Dade Police Department, and every day she has to respond to tragic calls. But the one she received Friday was
totally different from when you're going out there handling calls every day and you see other people going through it. It's indescribable, especially a cherished family member like him.
Deputy Beecham is talking about her nephew, 17-year-old Yakim Lawler. She says he was stabbed to death by his 17-year-old ex-girlfriend Friday night. Deputy Beecham says her nephew and his ex-girlfriend had an argument on the phone. Then the ex-girlfriend came over to the apartment where her nephew lived on Northwest 6th Court and 61st Street and killed him.
What could have been said over the phone that was so bad that you want to take his life?
Family and friends tell us Lawler was a senior at Miami Northwestern High who was a great student, a running back on the football team who had dreams of becoming a stockbroker. His loved ones say he was a good kid who stayed out of trouble.
We taught him to stay out of the streets and keep his head on right, and he did exactly that, and still this happened.
Sunday night, dozens of people showed up to a vigil outside of the apartment where Lawler was stabbed to honor him. His mother speaking about the tremendous loss to the crowd.
God took him away. I know everybody, even me, asking why, but we can't, question God.
Now, just days before Christmas, Lawler's family is planning his funeral. We're told that Lawler's ex-girlfriend is in custody in connection to his death, but so far her identity and the charges that she's facing have not yet been released. But for now, reporting from Miami, Anna McAllister, CBS News, Miami.
I bet you eventually her defense attorney gonna say homie was abusing her and that's why she stabbed him up. He don't use that defense. They said there was horse playing. The father ain't buying it. The mother ain't buying it. I ain't buying it. Homie tried to break up with her and she went OJ on him. But rest in peace, Yakim. He was a sharp brother, a sharp dresser. He did everything right. But he got involved with a crazy ass 17-year-old and now he's out of here. So rest in peace, little homie. Prayers to the mother and father. No prayers for that judge. No prayers. She doing us black folks miserably. Like I said before, she went and pulled that stunt with the Parkland parents or any of these mass shooters. She went and said, no bond, no bond. So this goes out there to all male and females. If someone show they crazy, run for the hills. Don't give it no chance to kill you. So folks, like the video and give me your opinion on this. AHS here.